Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, Boy in an Afternoon with Nothing Urgent. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. There are afternoons that arrive with a long list of expectations. Emails waiting to be answered. Messages blinking impatiently. Laundry half folded. Dishes pretending not to notice me. And then there are afternoons like this one, soft, warm, and strangely generous, when nothing seems to be in a rush. On that kind of afternoon, Boy becomes the most important creature in the universe. Boy is not a large dog. He doesn't have the dramatic posture of a guard dog or the elegant stride of a show champion. He is round in all the places that matter, with fur that never quite decides which direction it wants to lie in. His ears tilt slightly outward, as if he is constantly surprised by the world. And his eyes, his eyes, carry the quiet wisdom of someone who understands that time is not an enemy. I was sitting at my desk, pretending to work. The sunlight stretched across the floor in golden stripes. Dust floated lazily in the air, performing a silent ballet. My phone buzzed once, then again. I ignored it. That's when I noticed Boy. He wasn't doing anything impressive. He wasn't chasing a toy or begging for treats. He was simply sitting near the balcony door, watching the trees sway. His tail rested gently on the floor. His breathing was slow and even. He looked like a small monk in meditation. Boy, I whispered. He turned his head slightly, as if to say, yes, I'm here. I've been here the whole time. There was something magical about the way he occupied space. He did not demand attention, but he invited it. Without a word, he reminded me that the world would not collapse if I paused for a moment. So I did something unusual. I closed my laptop. The click echoed in the room like a decision. Boy stood up immediately, as if he had been waiting for that sound. His tail began to wag, not wildly, not dramatically, but with a gentle rhythm that matched the afternoon breeze. It was the kind of wag that said, now we can begin. And just like that, our afternoon with nothing urgent truly started. We didn't go far. No grand adventures. No crowded parks. Just a short walk down the quiet street near our home. The air was warm, but not heavy. A few neighbors were watering their plants. Somewhere in the distance, a child laughed. Boy walked beside me with calm determination, stopping every few steps to sniff something invisible, yet deeply important. I used to rush him. Come on, Boy, I would say. Let's go. But not today. Today, I let him sniff every leaf, every corner, every mysterious patch of ground. I realized that for Boy, this was not a delay. This was the main event. Each scent carried a story. Another dog had passed by. A cat had crossed the road. The wind had delivered news from somewhere far away. To him, the world was alive in ways I rarely noticed. We reached a small open field. The grass was slightly uneven, dotted with tiny white flowers. Boy stepped into it, as if entering sacred land. He didn't run immediately. Instead, he looked around carefully, scanning the horizon with serious concentration. Then, without warning, he burst into the most joyful sprint. His legs moved faster than seemed possible. His ears flapped wildly. He circled around me once, twice, then darted away again. It wasn't a race. It wasn't exercise. It was pure celebration. I laughed, an honest, uncontrollable laugh that felt like it had been waiting inside me all week. When Boy finally slowed down, he came back and sat in front of me, panting happily. His tongue hung out slightly. His eyes sparkled. In that moment, I understood something simple but profound. Boy does not measure his day by productivity. He measures it by presence. We sat together on the grass. I ran my fingers through his fur. He leaned gently against my leg, as if anchoring me to the earth. People often say animals need humans. We feed them. We shelter them. We protect them. But sitting there, I felt the opposite was just as true. Boy protects something inside me. The part that knows how to slow down, how to breathe deeply, how to exist without performing. After a while, we walked home. No rush. No hurry. Just two companions sharing a quiet road. Back inside, Boy stretched out on the cool floor. I lay down beside him. For a few minutes, we did absolutely nothing. And it was perfect. As the sun began to lower itself behind the buildings, the room turned a soft shade of orange. Shadows grew longer. The day gently prepared to end. Boy was asleep now, his chest rising and falling in steady rhythm. Occasionally, his paws twitched, perhaps chasing dream butterflies in some imaginary field. I watched him and thought about how easily we forget afternoons like this. In today's world, urgency has become a habit. We hurry through meals. We scroll through conversations. We measure our worth by how busy we are. Even our rest is often scheduled and optimized. But Boy does not understand busy. He understands warmth, scent, sound, companionship. He understands when I am tired, even before I say it. On stressful days, he sits closer. On lonely evenings, he places his head gently on my knee. He doesn't offer solutions. He offers presence. And presence is powerful. That quiet afternoon with nothing urgent became a small turning point for me. It reminded me that life is not only about achieving, but about experiencing. Not only about finishing tasks, but about feeling moments. Our relationship, human and dog, is not one of ownership. It is one of partnership. I provide him with food, safety, and love. In return, he gives me loyalty, joy, and emotional honesty. He teaches me to celebrate small victories, a cool patch of grass, a familiar path, a simple touch. This is the beautiful value of the bond between humans and animals. We do not just share space. We shape each other's hearts. Boy has taught me that slowing down is not laziness. It is awareness. Now, whenever I feel overwhelmed, I remember that afternoon. I imagine the way he sat by the balcony door, watching the trees sway as if the world had all the time it needed. And I ask myself, what if I lived a little more like that? If there is one thing I would gently suggest to anyone reading this, it is this. Create an afternoon with nothing urgent. Turn off your notifications. Close your laptop. Sit on the floor with your dog, or your cat, or even just yourself. Watch how your pet experiences the world. Let them lead you. Notice how they pause, how they observe, how they respond with their whole being. You may discover that animals are not distractions from life. They are reminders of what life truly is. In our fast-moving society, compassion and attention are rare treasures. When we care for animals with patience and respect, we cultivate those same qualities within ourselves. We become kinder, softer, more grounded. A good relationship between humans and animals teaches responsibility, empathy, and unconditional love. It shows us that another being's happiness can be as important as our own. And in protecting them, we often end up protecting the best parts of ourselves. That afternoon with Boy did not change the world, but it changed my rhythm. And sometimes that is enough. Because when Boy sits quietly beside me and the sun paints the room in gold, time forgets to hurry. And I remember how to live.